Now back to more of Florence and the PD's Best Talk. Good morning, PD, on Live 95.
QAT is our sponsor, teamqat.com, 843-661-0937. Phillip Lowe is with us. Phillip represents District 60 in the South Carolina House of Representatives. Before we get to Phillip, I want to say this real quick. I was in a texting argument yesterday with two friends of mine, and they were talking about the suburban women, and Trump was having problems, and he's underwater here. They're Republicans, and they're conservative. They're just concerned because they believe all this crap they see on television, and they're too uppity to listen to talk radio. You know, that's a little beneath them. I think they listen. They just don't tell me.
Don't admit
they listen. Right. But anyway, they were talking about the problem Trump has with the women voter. They felt that would bleed over into the midterms. And I said, what? I mean, Trump has a problem with African-American women. All Republicans have a problem with African-American women. What the media failed to report, and I think this is a serious number going into the midterm, 53% of white women voted for Donald Trump, and he ran against a white woman. So Trump doesn't really have a problem with women voters, and they go down the road of, well, 62% of suburban voters are offended by Trump's approach and attitude. Well, that's rigging a poll. I mean, that's rigging a poll. I mean, that's all that is, you know, finding a certain subset group of people who are more likely to respond the way you want them to respond. And it goes back to what I said earlier. I believe that we've got to a political climate where polling is not to give you an indicator of what the sentiment of the voter is to try and create a narrative that the voter will buy. I mean, I just believe that's kind of where we are. And it goes back to my real complex theory about today. Nobody knows nothing. and I mean that sincerely, because I just think the polling is inexact, to say the best, misleading and confusing. But my friend, and he's a smart guy, keeps over the politics. He said, well, this problem Trump's got with women. I said, dude, Trump ran against a white woman and got 53% of the white female vote. He doesn't have a problem with women voters. The media tells you.
Must be watching the mainstream media.
Of course he does. Phillip was bullish. I mean, Phillip and I were two of the more bullish opinions of Donald Trump. We were told, no, Phillip's got to run for office, so he's got to be careful. All I do is host a radio show, so I can throw a handful of crap against the wall every day, and some sticks and some doesn't. But I mean, you felt very, very similar to I did, that something was brewing out there that the proper class was not accounting for.
You're right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, that was an exciting time, and today's just as exciting. It really is. I think we're going to pick up 2 in the Senate, and I think we hold on by 2 in the House.
Why do you think that, Phillip? Well, why do you believe that? I mean, you showed me the map. Other than Michigan, you got every state right before the election of 2016. What makes you feel the same way now that you felt in 2016?
The economy. The economy is great, and people vote their pocketbook. You can get out on an outlier issue and feel a certain way and flip around some, but most of the people are content or feeling better than they were several years back. And so I think the economy is going to pull him through.
Phillip, we're told by the media how you as a Republican office holder need to feel about Trump. I mean, I never hear from Phillip, how Phillip feels about Trump, how Jay Jordan feels about Trump, how an elected Republican. I'm told by the media how you guys feel. Well, what is the consensus amongst Republican office holders about Donald Trump kind of rebranding and remaking the Republican Party?
You know, I don't know. How would you be if you were a billionaire from Manhattan? I mean, what would your persona be? I mean, he's got a little bully in him, but he touched on a nerve that people are tired of us. They're tired of us politicians, and Washington is just that way. We're all tired of Washington. You know, we like our particular guy, but yeah, he found that frustration level and used his own persona to get his point across.
And you believe that the Republican Party made in the image of Trump. I'm not talking about Trump particular, but this kind of aggressive, you know, we'll respond to the Democrats when they. I mean, for a long time as a Republican, I felt when they hit us in the head with a stick, we said, please don't do that again. And we kind of turned the other cheek, and Trump has changed that dynamic. Do you believe that needs to be the strategy of the GOP moving forward?
Well, think of the last 2 we ran. Mitt Romney, okay, nicest guy you could ever put up there. McCain, a nice moderate. What'd that get us? It got us nothing. I mean,
got your brains beat out.
Somebody's fighting back, and it feels good to have a leader. I don't want a guy that runs to the back and says, y'all go fight. I want somebody to get on the white horse and run out in the front and follow him.
You're the only person in this room whose name is on the ballot in this midterm election. You do have a race in District 60. But you're here more to talk about. You want to see a lot of turnout. I mean, you want to see enthusiasm amongst the Republican. He gave us a T-shirt that said "Vote Mad, Vote Red," and it's got a big red wave on the T-shirt. But you're going to make an offer to our listeners.
I'll tell you, I want you to do more than just vote. It's your duty to vote, but you need to do more than your duty. Just like we have to walk neighborhoods and work, I want to see you work. Here's my telephone number. Write this down. Put it in your phone. 621-9999. And Ken, you'll know that's my phone number every day.
It's
all
an easy
day.
one to remember.
Yeah, 621-9999.
Been your number as long as I've known you.
No, that's it. So what I want you to do is text or call 10 people today and get them to vote. Now, don't call liberals, call conservatives, of course, but call them and get them to vote. Now, if you'll do that, once you finish your 10th, then text me, include your name, and I will include you on the list for the victory party tonight. We're going to have a big, fun little throwdown and have a bunch of conservatives get together after the election and watch the election results and have something to eat and drink, have some fun together.
And that's 621-9999.
That's it. Text me your name, said I got 10, and then we'll get you in.
Let me ask you this. You on the shirt, you say vote mad, vote red. A lot of people look at that vote mad and say, I don't know if I go along with that. Why do you believe that that's the right way to go about this? I mean, because I don't think you mean mad, like mad and punch somebody in the mouth, but explain yourself there. I mean, I'm kind of where you are.
Somebody made me those shirts right after the Kavanaugh hearing. And, I think everybody was mad. I mean,
furious.
Probably both sides were mad, but it was vote mad. And the reason that you vote mad is that means more than just do what you normally do and vote. It means you've got to get out and do more. You got to help get people out to vote. There are people on your phone that you can connect with, and we have to have an army to help us here. I mean, South Carolina is not likely to have a blue wave.
Correct.
There may be some blue waves somewhere else. I don't see it here. I do know that from the words I'm hearing that we've got an unusually high absentee vote, and I've been told that looks like actually a red wave in that. It doesn't look like a blue one. But we can continue this by people doing their job and do a little more than you normally do. And let's see what happens.
So if somebody calls 10 of their friends, conservative friends, good solid conservative friends, and gets them to vote, you'll invite them. You'll have their name on a sheet of paper at the door at your event. What time and where is it again?
Well, I'm not telling anybody what time. It's after the election or where. When you text me that you got your 10, I'll text you the location and the time.
But it is 100% legitimate offer. I know you well enough to say that. Appreciate what you do. I mean that sincerely. You do have a race. You do have a Democrat running against you. If you don't mind, real quickly, I mean, what do you consider to be the priorities? What do you hope happens when you get back to Columbia in January?
We've got a lot of issues that we're going to be dealing with, and the proverbial issues of education and how do we make things improve in that area. I think continuing to fund infrastructure so that we can attract people and industries to this area to have the right type of jobs. And I think in the education we have to focus on a lot of the tech type programs, making sure that and even Francis Marion is doing a great job of finding programs and graduates for things we need around here. They've done a lot in the healthcare industry, which, as you know, is big in the PD area.
Without question.
Yeah. So I think those are big things. We've got to deal with, unfortunately, our retirement plan, which is overpromised. We've got to figure out some ways of changing that into the future, not the people who are currently in the system, but making sure we get into some kind of a defined benefit program and not overpromise what we can't deliver.
I've said this before. I'm going to give a kind of a personal testimony, and I guess we're not allowed to endorse candidates here on the show. But I didn't know Strom Thurmond well. My sister was in a wheelchair, and Hannah Pamplico High School. This was a little bit predating the ADA, and my sister was in a wheelchair. It was real difficult for her to get around the campus and whatnot. My dad's brother was the mayor of Pamplico. They got a hold of Strom Thurmond, and before we knew it, there was more concrete trucks at Hannah Pamplico High School pouring ramps than you could shake a stick at. That was constituent service. And I'll tell you, I've called Phillip probably not for me personally, but for business interest and other people who call me and say, hey, man, I've got this issue. I don't really know who to deal with. I've never called the son of a gun that he didn't figure out a way to help us. And we had a local business here in town last week, in fact, that was having an issue. And I called my buddy, and he took really good care of it. I mean, to me, that's constituency service. And we get all caught up in these highfalutin education debates and whatnot. I mean, ultimately, your job is to serve the people you represent. And I know in this business and their interest, it was important. And I just want to publicly say that that I've never called Phillip, that he didn't take my call. I've never called Phillip with a need or a request. Not me personally. Once again, this is the kind of the world I interact in. And Phillip, I think you would agree that that's one of the pleasantries of politics is being able to help people of your community deal with government in a more manageable fashion.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, and that is important. It's not just my votes. Constituent service is what it's about, and locally, that's what people are looking for.
Well, we appreciate you, and I mean that sincerely. Go vote, and if you get 10 people to go vote, call or text 843-621-9999, and there's a party somewhere that you can be a part of. We'll take a break. Back in a minute. Thanks to QAT. Good morning, PD Live 95.